Now, let's continue with our multiplication of matrices. Good day, everyone. In question 1b, we are asked to do the multiplication of B times A. So we want to multiply matrix B by A here. We want to multiply matrix B by matrix A. To do this correctly, to do this multiplication, first thing we check is, are the two matrices conformable for multiplication? So to check whether the two matrices are conformable for multiplication, I'll write down the number of rows and columns in B, which is the order of B, 2 by 2. Then I'll go ahead and write down the order of A2, which is what? Also 2 by 2, 2 rows and 2 columns. So I'll write that down here. I'll now check if the number of oh, I didn't write this correctly. Let me clean it. If the number of columns in A, which is the J value here, if it is equal to the number of if the number of columns in B, my first matrix is B. If the number of columns here is equal to the number of rows here, then the two matrices are conformable for multiplication. And as you can see, 2 is equal to 2 here, so the matrices can be multiplied regardless of what these values are. Once these ones in the middle are the same, these 2 and these 2 are the same, whether it is 2 2 or 3 3 or 1 1, whatever the values are, as long as these two values are the same, the two matrices can be multiplied, or we say they are conformable for multiplication. So I have determined the conformability now. I'll now go ahead and carry out my multiplication. Now, after finding out that my matrices can be multiplied, I need to get the order of my answer. How do I get the order of my answer? The order of my answer is the first value here and the last value here. So the product of matrix B times A, we have the order 2 by 2. I'll pick this number as the number of rows in my answer and this value as the number of columns in my answer. So my answer for this multiplication, we have an order 2 by 2. I hope that is clear. You can review that, rewind, and make sure you get that. Number of rows and columns in my answer should be 2 by 2. So 2 by 2 means 2 rows and what? 2 columns. 2 rows and 2 columns means there will be 4 cells. 1 2 3 4. This is the cell carrying the element in the first row, first column. This one carries the element in the first row, second column. This carries the element in the second row, first column, and this carries the element in the second row, second column. Now, to get this element in the first row, first column in my answer, I'll multiply the first row in B. I'll multiply the first row in B by the first column in A. As in, I'll multiply the first row in the first matrix by the what? First column in the second matrix. So I'm going to do minus 4 2 times 2 4. That's what I have done here. Minus 4 2 times 2 4. I'm going to be a little bit faster here, as this is our second example. So how do I do that? Minus 4 times 2. Minus 4 times 2 will give me minus 8. Then 2 times what? 4 will give me what? 8. I'll add the two answers, up, and I'll get the element in the first row, first column. So in my answer, the value here will be what? 0. When I get to fill it, you'll see it. Now, let's continue. To get the, answer or the element in the first row, second column, what do? I'll multiply the first row in matrix B by what? The second column in matrix A. Watch the way I'm doing it. I'll multiply the first row in matrix B by the second column in matrix what? A. That means the first row in my first matrix by the second column in my second matrix. That's how to get this element C12. So take note. And that means what? Minus 4 times 3, you understand, plus 2 times what? 5. So that will give me what? That will give me minus 12 plus 10 here, as you can see. Minus 12 plus what? 10. That gives me minus 2. Now, let's go find the third element in my multiplication. To get the third element in my multiplication, which is the element in the second row, first column, I'll multiply the second row in B by the first column in A. So as you can see, I'm going to do, let me go back and show you that too. As you can see, I'm going to do 5, 6 times what? 2, 4 to get this element. I'll multiply the second row in B, in matrix B, by the what? First row in matrix A, which is this row. So I'm going to get, what do I get? 5 times 2 plus 6 times 4. That gives me what? That gives me 10 plus 24. And that gives me 34. To get the element in the second row, second column, I'll multiply the second row in my first matrix, which is matrix B here, by the second column in my second matrix, which is what? Matrix A in this question. So let me go back to the matrices and show you that. To get this element, in the second row, second column of my product, I'll multiply the second row in this first matrix here, the second row in B, by the what? By the second column in A, which is the second matrix in this multiplication. So that gives me what? 5, 6 times what? 3, 5. That's going to give me 5 times what? 3 times, I'll do 5 times 3, get 15, 6 times 5, get 30, add both, and get 45. So altogether, I'll put my answers down, in their order, and I'll get this value, or this matrix, as my product of B and A. So check very well. You will notice that BA is not the same thing as AB. You notice very well that matrix BA is not the same thing as what? AB. So we say matrix multiplication is not commutative, because for A times B, when I did the multiplication of matrices A times B, what did I get? What did I get? Let me check back. This is the matrix I got when I multiplied A by B. 7 minus 14, 9 and minus 22. But when I did the multiplication, but now that I've done the multiplication of B times A, I didn't get that same matrix. I got 0 minus 12, 31, 45. So that tells you that matrix multiplication is what? We say matrix multiplication. Matrix multiplication is not what? Commutative. So commutative means when AB is not the same thing as BA, you say that this multiplication is not commutative. So take note of that. Very important. So you check the remaining examples yourself and try them one after the other. Some are not conformable for multiplication, some are. So some are conformable for multiplication, some are not conformable for multiplication. So you check the rest yourself. We'll continue together in the next video.